Hey friends, what's up? 5 p.m. here in New York City. Let's see, Wednesday, March 8th. 5 p.m. I just heard the bells tolling. We're on 5th Avenue, 89th Street, overlooking the beautiful Guggenheim. Walk, Pittsburgh living. Good to see you. Nabul. Beautiful afternoon here in New York City. Stayed in yesterday and much of today because of the wind. I don't know if anybody saw. I think I saw Ange streaming earlier. I'm not sure if anybody else was. It was so windy the last couple of days, but at least on my phone, the wind symbol left starting at about 3 p.m. So hopefully that's the case.
I'm so exhausted.
Feels much nicer now, and we have the beautiful sun setting to my right. Show you guys. Getting somewhat more normal. The sun sets at 5:55 p.m. today. Better than 4 p.m. Let's get one last view of the Guggenheim before we head down. Tina, George, Lizzie, nice to see everybody. Look at that sky. Gorgeous. Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum. It's kind of fun. You walk to the top and then you go in a circle on your way down. Probably told the story once, but we went and saw a Robert Mapplethorpe exhibit there once. If you're not familiar with his art, it is adult oriented. And there were some really little kids. I'm sure their parents had a fun time explaining everything later. Always cracks me up when I think about that. As we work our way down 5th, we are on Museum Mile. 5th Avenue is spoiled rotten with museums, so probably going to miss some, but at the top you have the Africa Center, Museo del Barrio, Museum of the City of New York, the Jewish Museum, Cooper Hewitt, Guggenheim, Neue coming up on our left at 86th Street, the Met, the Frick. I think there's a school that's sort of a museum that I've never been to. I'm just blanking on the name of that one. I think those are the main ones. Spoiled rotten. Whoa, and a incredibly kind $4.99 super chat. Pittsburgh living. Congratulations on the 1 million views. Hey, well, can't do without you guys. Find it a little hard to believe. But thank you for that. Thank you for adding yet another view to our little tally today. Thank you. And for the super chat. Gigi's here. Sal. Tracy. And I saw something. Brian Bell. Lizzie was asking how Caleb's doing. And Andrea Jordan's here. All of our friends. Many of our friends. Caleb's doing well. We're having a little, I feel like I'm always like, he just doesn't want to sleep these days. He gets all worked up when it seems like he's closest to falling asleep, which whenever you read this stuff, they're like, yeah, that happens. So we're working on it. So apologies for the sleep-deprived brain fog if I misspeak. But I feel I'm out here walking, gallivanting along 5th Avenue. Lisa's the one at home taking care of the kiddo right now. Shout out Lisa. One of the many playgrounds around Central Park. This is the ancient playground next to the Met. Thank you, Tracy. Sierra, good to see you. Yeah, 1 million views. Thanks, everybody. Really find it hard to believe. On to the next. Marymount. Isn't the architecture around here like absolute crazy? Colleen's here, Dave in Bangor, Maine. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I think we're going to do a little bit of 5th Avenue today. I thought long and hard about the sunset and the Hudson River, but the wind earlier kind of spooked me. So today I think we'll mostly stick around 5th Avenue unless inspiration strikes along the way, which, to be fair, it does from time to time. Coming up on my favorite museum, on Museum Mile. Let me show you guys the sign. Museum Mile, 5th Avenue, 83rd Street. The Metropolitan Museum of Art. Where is everybody today? It's so nice now. I think the wind earlier kind of spooked everybody. It's not as cold anymore. So let's see what's going on at the Met. Lives of the Gods, Divinity and Maya art. Haven't been to that yet, but I bet that's pretty good. Always interested in art that I'm less familiar with. Maya. The beautiful building. Looks even better later at night when it's lit up. But it is pre-sunset. On the left-hand side, Chroma, ancient sculpture in color. So we saw this exhibit. This actually is really cool. So the premise of Chroma is that a lot of the Greek and Roman art, like the sculptures that we find, that we think of as kind of plain white marble, turns out probably used to be painted. And so they have a mixture of pieces, kind of how we normally think of them looking, plain white, and then a bunch where they've done these modern reconstructions of the color. It's really cool. It's really trippy. And as with everything on the Met, you can go to their website. They also have a great YouTube channel if you want to learn more, see some of what I'm talking about if you don't happen to be in the neighborhood. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Andrew Jordan, the wind was crazy yesterday. Yeah, it was unbelievable. We took the kid out for a walk. I was watching Anne. He was in Central Park. We were there 30 minutes before he got there, and I didn't look at my phone, so I didn't know he was there. He ended up in one of the places where we were, but we were walking to Central Park, and there was a moment where there was just this insane wind gust. We had the stroller, and like a bunch of the stuff underneath got blown out of it. New York City wind moment. No fun, no bueno. But much better today, at least right now. I think it stopped around 3. Let me show this before we go. The American Irish Historical Society, but just like look at the building. that cool? Savannah asking, where are we going today? I don't know where we're going. We're going along Fifth Avenue. The destination to be determined. Really, I only have one destination in mind, which is for my wife. Probably gonna get some of the details wrong here, but my understanding is at Rockefeller Center, there's some sort of Last Supper, I guess, sculpture. And I think she said today was the last day, so I want to go see if we can find that for her. But other than that, who knows? Coming up on 79th Street. Some beautiful mansions here along our left. I mean, like, stunning. But this one at the corner right here in particular is the Ukrainian Institute of America. Hey, Tunisia's here. Hey, good to see you. Hope all's well. Thanks for being on. And my beautiful wife, Lisa, just joined. The last day. Okay, good to know. Well, we'll see it today. Hopefully we'll find it. Gosh, these mansions are so ridiculous. All right, crossing at the light. And as I always like to mention to you guys, the Via Albertine bookstore. Books in French and English, the sign says, but mostly French in my experience. Connected to the French embassy, the most beautiful ceilings that I'm familiar with in New York City. I guess second are at the, well, we'll get to that later. But the Via Albertine, the best ceilings in New York City. Look it up. As we walk down Fifth Avenue, we're walking next to Central Park. And I got an update on Flacco. We saw him we were wandering through Central Park to get to the west side. We did see Flacco. And then I heard today he got hustled by some hawks. And so he wasn't in the place people thought he would be. But I think they did find him again, and he's doing okay. But these are the, now he's got to deal with real nature. Nature v. nature. And in the distance, that's Midtown Manhattan. The towers of Billionaires Row peeking out. And you can see we have a fairly clear sky tonight, so you can really see the sky. We'll get a better view as we go down, but those buildings are on 57th Street. We're on 77th now. 20 blocks in New York City makes a mile, so about a mile away. But it's just a gorgeous day here in New York City. Right now, at least. And let me point the camera up for a second just so you guys can see. So there's not a lot of color on the trees right now. You can start to see little buds and stuff are starting to come in. So I don't know spring is not too far away. So I'm going to be excited. We do a lot of the walks, Fifth Avenue, Park Avenue, Central Park. We kind of do them frequently. And it'll be fun over the next few weeks to see the colors start to come in, I think. Tunisia's ready for summer. We hardly had winter. We had one snow day. And I don't even know that it lasted 24 hours. Ooh, when we get up ahead a little bit, I'll show you guys conservatory water. Looks kind of weird. Wonder if it got drained. But this right now, Fifth Avenue, beautiful Fifth Avenue, historic Fifth Avenue. As we make our way down, next museum we'll see is the Frick, Henry Clay Frick House. So this is what I was talking about. Looks like they drained the water in here. George asked if we're ready for daylight savings time. Well, George, I hate changing the clocks. It throws me off every time, and now we've got a kiddo at home. I just want them to pick one. At this point, I don't care which one, I just want them to pick one. It seems so bizarre to me that we changed the clocks. Personally. Crossing 74th Street. Gosh, some of the architecture around here is so ridiculous. These little mansions. Must be nice. Tunisia's ready for longer days. Yeah, I mean, I definitely prefer it. You know, I didn't like it when the sun sets at 4 p.m., so I don't like that, but Lisa, little mansions, yeah. Well, compared to, you know, these massive complexes. Though funny enough, in a lot of these, sometimes an entire floor belongs to a single person, you know, or family. Just so happens, you know, they have 20 rooms. As I said, must be nice. Starting to get that clearer view on the right here. Vinny's here, good to see you. Hope you're doing great. Thank you for joining us. Little wander around the city. Right now, 5th Avenue, 72nd Street. Should we do a quick pop into Central Park and go down the mall? Maybe we should. And then we'll pop out at 59th Street, Midtown. Let's do a little. It's so nice out. Bet there's gonna be lots of people here. So a little preview as we enter on 72nd Street. That's where we were just looking at Conservatory Water, which is right down there. And then this field right here is Pilgrim Hill. And during cherry blossom season, it's one of the most beautiful areas in the park. But as you can see, no color just yet. But I'm looking in the background and I am seeing a little color, so we might take a slight detour. Are there some confused trees over there? Should we go check out the confused trees? Scott Briggs is here. Wind was insane today on Long Island. Almost got blown out of the door of a restaurant. That's what they don't tell you, Scott. You got to be really careful in those restaurants. Really easy to get blown out the door. Hate when that happens. So, to commemorate the landing of the Pilgrim Fathers at Plymouth Rock. Thus Pilgrim Hill. But check out, I see a little color in the distance. Guys, you saw it here first. You saw it here first. Oh my gosh, it's happening. It's happening, folks. This is the thing about this confusing winter season, is we have to be on our toes, because this will be here today and gone tomorrow. Let's go check this out. This looks beautiful. Let's go check this out. We got a few little trees to check out. Oh my gosh. Lisa, while I'm doing this, you want to tell people about our recent celebrity sighting here in the park? Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Sue Case here from New Mexico. It's International Women's Day. Hey, that's fantastic. Shout out to all the women in my life. Oh my gosh. Guys, it's happening. Blossoms. This tree is so gorgeous. Ooh, I will have to come back for that for sure for some photos. But let me cross the street because there's a couple more actually. This is what I was saying. There's a little confusion from the winter. It's winter one day, it's spring the next. It's winter one day, it's spring the next. And some of these trees had enough of that. Heinz Tang, good to see you. RJ? Yeah, we did see. So last time we were fully in the park, I think the video has special guest in the title because Lisa was with us, as was Caleb. But we saw Damian Lewis right not too far from here. Actually, he was walking through the park. We were all looking for Geraldine, and he was wondering if we were looking for Flacco. But check this out, how beautiful. How beautiful. Little hint of spring here in Central Park. If anybody's in the neighborhood, definitely check out the area around 72nd Street so you can take some photos over here. Oh my gosh, beautiful. I hope the color's coming across on the screen. It's really incredible in real life. But it's just a few trees here. Gorgeous. All right, well, we already got our money's worth on the detour. Let's head over to the mall. Continue our southward march. So what did we get from Nightbot? 46 degrees Fahrenheit. And it looked like 10-mile-an-hour winds, yeah. And it's not doing too much of that right now. We're doing okay. Not too shabby. So we're going to make a left here at the mall. I mean, we'll probably go look at Bethesda Terrace while we're here, but if you were to go straight, you could go to Strawberry Fields, Tavern on the Green, and of course just cut through the park, head over to the west side, Upper West Side, go over to Lincoln Center. It's a good spot. But right here, smack dab in the middle, Bethesda Terrace. So let's see what's going on at the fountain. Tunisia tells us we got to head over to the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. Head to the Magnolia Pavilion, smell the magnolia trees. Ooh, that sounds lovely. Yeah, I used to say I tried to go to the Botanic Garden once a month, but it's harder to get that much time these days. Ooh, black squirrel. Cool. The thing with my schedule these days is it's just hard to get much time away from the kiddo and doing things like the Botanic Garden. It adds subway on both ends, but hope to make it before too long. And my wife was telling me about the Bronx Botanical Garden, which I think is where they're doing the orchid show, if I remember correctly. So one day we'll do a big Bronx thing, because you got Arthur Avenue, Little Italy, Botanical Garden. There's lots going on. Preston's here. RJ, hope all is well. Hope you're doing okay. And speaking of, let's all give good healing thoughts to our friend Sifat. Suffered the walker's bane. Sounds like a twisted ankle. Oof. Awful. So hopefully he'll be back in the saddle before too long. Fingers crossed for you, pal. Brenda's here, Marty's here. Some beautiful music here in the park. And I can see in the distance, had we gone to the Hudson, it does look like there was going to be a good sunset, but I got spooked by all the wind. So we're going to head out of the park in a little bit. We're going to walk south, get some nice views, and then head back onto our trail, which today is 5th Avenue. But this is the Mall and Literary Walk. One of the few big straight lines in Central Park. Jonathan says, people look cold. Yeah, it's pretty cold today. In the 40s Fahrenheit. What did Nightbot say, like 5 or 6 degrees Celsius, something like that? Posted a video from the High Line yesterday. It was really beautiful on the High Line, but I had to edit the beginning of it because I was standing by the vessel and the wind just went on and on and on for minutes, and not just like a little like gust or something. It was crazy loud, and it was one of those things where everybody who turned the video on would have turned it right off. So I had to do some creative editing. Even with a wind muff. Too windy. You can see the streaks of the sun to our west. Yeah, winter's, so many people ready for spring, but winter's still here. Not snowy winter, but just the chill. So I was here not too long ago, and I found out after the fact that the Columbus statue, I guess, had been defaced. But the reason I didn't notice it, aside from they put some barricades around it, is they clean things up here so quickly. But they did allow this, which is flowers at the Women's Rights Pioneers Monument, because as Sue Kay told us, is International Women's Day. Sojourner Truth, Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Beautiful little bouquet. How cool is that? That's nice. That is nice. So we'll make our way out through the zoo. What time is it? Let's see if I can read. 5:30. Oh, if we can get to the zoo in 2 minutes, we could see the Delacorte clock. It usually doesn't start right away at 5:30, so pardon my hustle. Let's see if we can go. Let's see how quickly we can get to the zoo. Oh, there's probably a faster way than what I'm doing. I just don't know it. Everybody, prepare your eyes so we can see Balto, but we're not going to stop. We're going to run to the zoo. Of course, I'm going the wrong direction. So we're going to run by Balto, and then we'll probably see the Delacorte clock chiming in the middle of it, because I'm definitely not going to get there quickly enough. But we might as well try. Willowdale Arch. All right, prepare. Balto on the right. Doing a flyby, folks. Here's Balto. Brave sled dog. Somebody also left flowers for him. Wow. And a tennis ball. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, you can probably hear the clock chiming in the background. Was not fast enough. Scott, I'm going to have to look that video up. I have no idea. But I will check that out. That sounds great. Ah, it's already done. The 5:30 chimes must have gone off on time, because my watch had 5:30 and it usually goes a minute or two late. I'm going to have to change my whole thing if they start to play it on time, actually. A little more sunset view. Ooh, I bet the Hudson would have been nice today. Next time, next time. We've been spoiled with some really incredible sunsets over the last couple of months. This is the Central Park Zoo. Entrance on our left is for the children's section, I believe. Yes. Children's Zoo. And then the main section of the zoo, including our gorgeous Delacorte clock, which we just missed, but I have lots of videos of if you want to see. It's fun because the animals dance, but it's not going to go off again. It goes on the half hour and the hour. So we missed it. Oh well. But this is the main section of the Central Park Zoo. Excited to take the kiddo here one day. Arsenal on our left. one of two buildings to predate Central Park, on the grounds of Central Park, home to the Parks Department Art Gallery. Another squirrel. And on our right, the sea lion pool. I'm just taking a quick glance to see if I see them. Let's take a look. Oh, there they are, right in front of us. Let me zoom in. Ramona's here, good to see you. Okay, this is where I saw it. So the trick, if you come here on a busier day, oh, yeah. The trick if you come here on a busier day is they do like to perform for people. So if there's like a group of people milling around, they'll usually make their way to them. But we kind of lucked out. There they are, right in front of us. Let's see if we can get one last view. We got a date at Rockefeller Center. Where'd you guys go? All right, they're a little shy. They're a little shy today. Well, since we've had about 100 people join since I mentioned this, again, a big shout out, thank you to everybody. We just surpassed 1 million views a few days ago, which still struggling a little bit to wrap my mind around. But thanks to each and every one of you for contributing to that. It's awesome, and we thank you. Look at this dog, cute dog. So we'll be popping out of the park here, out of the zoo and out of the park, bringing us to Grand Army Plaza here in Manhattan. Plaza Hotel, 5th Avenue, 59th Street. Apple Store, Bergdorf Goodman. Lots going on over here. And of course, another view of the towers of Billionaires Row at 57th Street. Sam Jackson's here, good to see you. More of the beautiful architecture along 5th Avenue. Ooh, and that sky. Let me just zoom in for a second on that sky just so you guys can see, because it is gorgeous. Does not get much better than that. ABX is here, good to see you. So glad so many of our friends have made it for a little afternoon stroll. Mostly doing 5th Avenue today. Started near the Guggenheim, and then when we got to 72nd Street, we couldn't help ourselves, popped into Central Park, and wouldn't you know it, we found a few of the first spring blossoms in Central Park. Just a few individual trees, but really beautiful. I'm glad we got to see that. Signs of beautiful things to come. And then as we pop out here, Plaza Hotel. Bergdorf up ahead, General Motors building. Lots and lots of fun sights to see as we return to Fifth Avenue proper. Light should be changing, yep. And like I said, here is Grand Army Plaza. There's also one probably more famous in Brooklyn, opposite Prospect Park. Ooh, and we're looking out, folks, so the building lights are starting to turn on. The whole Midtown's going to start to look really pretty. And as the building lights come on, as the sun goes down, gorgeous. Again, the Plaza Hotel. And you've got somebody here. I don't know what this driver's doing. Watch out for them. Let's take advantage of the light here. Dior put its spring signs up. Let's go check that out. Stylish bunnies here. Good to see you. Nice to have everybody. Thanks for joining us, hanging on out here in Midtown Manhattan. Do us a favor, leave a like. They're free. Help other people find us. Okay, fun times. Let's go see the signs at Dior. They look kind of cool. Dave says, Bryant Park getting ready for spring. Yeah, I heard we're coming to the end of Winter Village. Too sad, too sad. Loved Winter Village. It's kind of trippy. It's like weird design animation. And then here is the Apple Store. And I've showed you guys a few times, but these are both benches and skylights, and sometimes you can see the people inside shopping, but sometimes the light's better for that. It's usually a little easier later at night, but you can, if you look closely enough, you can see there's some people shopping down below. But if you want to like look into the skylights, it's a little easier to do that later at night. Apple Fifth Avenue. Very nice and clean public restrooms as well in there. Whoa, and what's going on across the street? So if you've been with us before, the Paris Theater is right over there. It's a movie theater, and Netflix operates it, and it looks like they're doing something for the TV show Luther. Looks like they have a little mini red carpet, so they're doing some sort of a premiere, I guess. And I want to go look at the windows at Bergdorf, so why don't we go see what's going on at this thing? Sure. Why not? That's kind of cool. Let me loop around it so I can show you guys. So it's the whole red carpet, press check-in. Oh, I guess I know Luther is a TV show, but I guess they did a movie, huh? That's kind of cool. That's pretty neat. Trying to see if I see Idris Elba anywhere. That would be a pretty big celeb sighting, wouldn't it? I don't think we'll be so lucky, but I'll keep my eyes peeled. That's kind of cool. So this is the Paris Theater. It looks like they've got all sorts of security and stuff going on, barricades. So we'll
set the pen up. After that, I'll give you what you need.
We'll cut through. But yeah, they got a whole thing going on here for this movie premiere, I guess. That's pretty cool. So there it is, Paris Theater, Luther, The Fallen Sun premiere. And then if you pan up, some pretty cool architecture and buildings over here. But how neat is that? I'm just trying to see if I recognize anybody. I can't imagine I would. I'm guessing there's some folks who are going in, dressed in their finest. Well, that's cool. One day we'll find Idris. He's awesome. Let me show you some of the windows here at Bergdorf. Yeah, stylish. We went to Brian a few times. The ice skating was really fun there. Scott hasn't been in the Paris since like 2002. It's kind of interesting now. So since Netflix operates it, it's one of the few places where if you want to see like a Netflix movie in a theater, it's one of the few places that does that. So that's kind of interesting. The stuff here at Bergdorf, hey, there's Frankenstein's monster. Interesting. Lisa says the premiere starts at 7, so we're probably a bit early. Yeah, that makes sense. Prada here at Bergdorf. It looks kind of like pajamas, doesn't it? Huh. Interesting. Scott's mentioning some of the history about the Paris. Used to be other smaller movie theaters in Midtown, the Ziegfeld, for example. The best movie theater that I'm familiar with that does what you're describing, Scott, is called Quad Cinema. It's down in West Village on West 13th Street. It's one of my favorite movie theaters in New York City. ER Trauma's here. We're checking out some of the spring fashion here at Bergdorf Goodman. It's fully Prada and fully gingham. I guess gingham is in this summer. Everybody take note, gingham is in this summer. And then I'm sad to report, we saw this last time we were here, but the Kasama robot is gone from Louis Vuitton. No more Kasama robot. And last time we were here, the windows, they were installing the windows. So let me try to rush across the street. Oh, we have the light. And let's go see what's going on at Louis Vuitton. And I'll try not to get hit by a bike. All right, well, as you guys can see, Louis Vuitton going in a very different direction than Prada. It's so funny. Totally different direction. They got the kind of grunge boots going on and much heavier fabric. I'm not like a big fashion guy, but it is funny how different Prada and Louis Vuitton are going. Fascinating.
That's how they're phrasing. It's like these women are not.
It's in to wear tablecloth for your pants. Couldn't have said it better myself. Wow, this guy on a bike running the red light and not even looking up as he does it. That's not ideal. Not ideal. All right. Hop back across the street. Oh, I kind of do wish I'd gone to the Hudson. The sky looks so great down there. Oh, you just never know. You never know. And now it would take too long to get there, so we're sticking to Fifth, folks. Sticking to our guns. ER is a fan of the footwear. ABX. Gingham is back. 70s flare jeans. It is funny how these things cycle through over and over and over again. And here's the actual Prada store. So I find it a little funny that Bergdorf has a whole Prada thing when just a few doors down here is Prada itself. And no gingham. No gingham. Confusing. Confusing. All right, so we saw the Albertine French bookstore on the Upper East Side, which has, I said, the #1. Sorry if I make some noise. I'm putting my sunglasses away. The Albertine has the #1 best ceilings in New York City, but #2 are coming up. The Peninsula Hotel. Yeah, they've been doing so much construction on that Tiffany building for such a long time. So one day it'll be a little more photogenic. And the bane of the live streamer's existence, the pedicab, because they play like the most copyrighted music. And when you walk next to them, it's like you hit every intersection together. So I'm gonna let the pedicab get at least a block ahead of us. Otherwise, it's just gonna frustrate me. Armani, Dolce & Gabbana, a lot of the luxury stores. All right, they got a green, so hopefully they'll get going. Sorry. Across the street, the St. Regis and Harry Winston for your $75,000 engagement ring. John Burke is here. And then on the right, as I was saying, the beautiful Peninsula Hotel. Let me show you guys the front. We'll give that pedicab even more time to get ahead of us. The beautiful Peninsula Hotel. But we're gonna walk alongside it because the best views of the peninsula are the ceilings just up ahead, which hopefully it's dark enough out for us to get a nice view of. During the daytime you can't see it, but as the sun goes down, hopefully we'll get to see it. Fingers crossed, my friends, fingers crossed. Let's see if we can peek into the windows here. Stylish, yes. I didn't fully appreciate that until we were standing right in front of it. All right. Hold your hats, folks. The beautiful windows here, or ceilings rather, in the Peninsula Hotel. There's still a little glare, but hopefully you're just getting a little bit of the idea. Let me try. Work with me, Gimbal, work with me. All right. Oh, I got to turn this. I got to face this direction. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. How beautiful is that? How incredible is that? And like I said, if you've never seen the Via Albertine, I think they're even nicer than this. But this is remarkable. All right. Okay, so I just have to face back, and then we can get a better view. Okay, let's see if we can get a good view at this corner. Hold on. Gimbal's being a little funny today. Okay, well, Lisa's vote is that these are number one. And where's the other one? Lisa pointed out some, was it at the Pierre? It wasn't the Pierre though, we decided, right? It was the, what's that place called? The Manhattan Club? It's something club over on 5th Avenue and like 60th Street. No, I've never been in there. I mean, I've been in the lobby of the Peninsula, but I've never been in that room. One day. Ambrose is here. Good to see you, pal. We were just admiring the beautiful ceilings at the Peninsula Hotel. Wandering 5th Avenue right now. Midtown Manhattan, 5th Avenue, shopping district. Coming up on St. Thomas Church. Uniqlo on it, right? Let's go see what actually affordable fashion looks like. Ramona did a little price shopping for us. The deluxe suite at the Peninsula Hotel for tonight, $4,845. I mean, can you really afford not to? That is the question. Can you really afford not to?
And it's cool, it's a hotel too, you can stay there.
Coming up ahead, on our left, Cartier. One of the most beautiful buildings in Midtown Manhattan, and it's late enough that their lights have come on, which to me is when it really shines. Sun's still coming down, so things are still pretty bright, but that looks amazing, doesn't it? I'm sensing sarcasm in the chat. Ooh, another pedicab coming. They're gonna get us tonight. Let them pass us by. Nike store. Yes, just a mortgage payment. And next to Cartier Versace, if we just have to wait for the bus to go by. See, Jan's asking a really wise question. What do you get for $4,845 or whatever it was? Does it include breakfast? Do you get a butler? Is it regular coffee? Is it Nespresso? Starbucks? These are the important questions. And here we are, St. Patrick's Cathedral. And another pedicab. I must have a sign on myself. It's like kind of wearing a kick me cab sign, except it's follow me, all pedicabs. Let's check a quick look at the Lego store and then we'll head back over to St. Patrick's. Let the pedicabs go by. ER says if it's Nespresso, does it include George Clooney? So, fun fact, I mean, I don't know if it's the only place he stays in New York, but we've walked by the Carlisle Hotel a few times, and there was a documentary about the Carlisle, and I think he was, if I remember, he was in that documentary. I think he's a fan of the Carlisle Hotel. But who knows, maybe he shops around. Maybe he shops around. Tina, it's Pedi, P-E-D-I, so like pedal, bicycle. See, this is what they just park there. And then they play copyrighted music. I guess it must be 6 o'clock, huh? Across from us, Atlas, famous Atlas statue, carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Normally I would head over there, but that bike is just parked there. So why don't we, while we're over here, we'll check out the windows at Saks, and then we'll head into our first destination of the day, Rockefeller Center, to see if we can find a piece of art that my wife asked of me to go check out. So Chanel's kind of doing a little Prada type thing, I guess. It's not gingham, but you know, similar. I'm sure I've said this before, but window shopping via camera is so much nicer at night, huh? All the glare goes away. Saks It List head-to-toe denim. So Saks is in favor of denim. Interesting. Everybody's doing different stuff. I'm not really seeing a theme between all of our stores here, huh? Yeah, stylish. This does have a kind of 80s vibe. Mari Carmen's here. Good to see you. From Puerto Rico. Years and years ago. Gosh, I'll be interested if my wife knows what year it was, but we went to Vieques in Puerto Rico. Long time ago. These are the high-end designers. In the middle is Oscar de la Renta. These mannequins are so weird looking. I mean, I get that that's probably sort of the point, but weird. Tom Ford on the left. And Patricia's here from Tucson. Cammy said they're looking like they ran out of ideas, had to go to the storage trunks. I think you might be onto something. What was the thing we saw at the Brooklyn Museum, Lisa? It was the, was it the Vogue? What was it? It was fashion, but was it Vogue? I'm just blanking. The one that we had to hustle our way inside. Oh, 2015, my gosh, so 8 years ago. Too long ago. Diana Lee is here, and ABX. 90s goth makeup is back. So ABX, that pairs well with what we saw at Louis Vuitton, which had the kind of grunge boots. Big, heavy leather boots. I think you're onto something. All right, so we're just going to wait for our light to change. Should be any second now, provided nobody runs the red. Let's head into Rockefeller Center and see if we can find the art that we've been looking for. Real idiot right there. Try not to be too judgmental, but I'm completely judgmental of people who drive in New York City. What does this say? Solo. Oh, this is the solo cup thing. Oh, I knew about this. Hold on. Sorry, folks. I have to get back a little bit. This is the solo cup thing. Yep, my beautiful wife Lisa is in the chat tonight. Guys, this is a gigantic solo cup. Is this sending people back to their college days? Are they feeling that art in their liver? Did you feel that art in your liver? Liz is here. ER, fan of the grunge look, the attitude, the music. Wasn't that pretty funny? And here's some signs of spring. All right, caution to the wind. We're losing our copyright anyway, so I avoided the pedicabs for no reason. All the music here is going to get us. But worth it to see the flowers, right? Let's go see what's going on at the ice skating rink, and then we're going to go around because I bet that's where the artwork is that we're looking for. Anybody at the ice skating rink? Looks like a couple people. Wow, Midtown is empty today, huh? Midtown is really quiet. This is so funny. This is everybody. Ollie says, where's the big ping pong ball? Well, if you ever wanted private ice skating rink in the heart of Manhattan. Now is your chance. Diana Lee, lots of gin and tonic in that cup. Very bottom shelf tequila. All right, let's see if we can find our artwork. Yeah. Not too difficult. Not too difficult. So this is what Lisa sent me over here for. Let's admire The Last Supper. This is let me make sure I'm getting the entire table in the frame here. And then we'll go, let's admire it, and then we'll go read about it. Prince Ice is here. Okay, let's see what we can read about this. Christie's, Adam. Works from the collection of Adam Lindemann. This is by Urs Fischer. Last Supper, cast bronze and stainless steel armature in 3 parts. Executed in 2014. I mean, I know what The Last Supper is, but I was hoping we'd find a little more of like a statement or something. But not too shabby. And yeah, so we're at Rockefeller Center right now, and if you go down this street to the right is Christie's. Sotheby's is, I did a recorded walk on York Avenue the other day, and that's where Sotheby's is on the Upper East Side. Yeah, Colleen, it doesn't have anything that's not on, I tried to see, but it doesn't have anything that's not on this sign. And Sharon says it was a Passover Seder, not a Last Supper. Cami says, looks like something you'd see at a sandcastle competition. John enjoying it? It does, this particular one does have, now that you've said the word sandcastle, it does have sandcastle vibes. All right, folks, let's continue down 5th. Last time we were over here, we got kind of pulled in the direction of the High Line. And before that, you know, we've done Bryant Park. So I think we're going to continue down 5th Avenue farther than we've gone in a long time. So let's head back over to 5th and let's go south. And let's walk onwards. I love public art, and New York City does a pretty good job of having an awful lot of it. So whether or not I necessarily love every individual piece of art, I love getting a chance to see art out here on the street. Adds to what makes this city unique and fun. And in fact, if we make it to Madison Square Park, there should be some public art there as well. Though it'll be pretty dark, so we'll see what we see. Well, let's head in that direction. Let's
I think there's probably truth in that.
head down 5th together. On our left, the Charles Scribner Sons building. Used to be a Sephora, now Club Monaco, but it's a beautiful building. Love the whole gorgeous glass entry. Coming up on 48th Street, the next big cross street, 42nd Street, which would bring us to the New York Public Library, Bryant Park. To our left would be Grand Central. and the Chrysler building, but we're gonna just keep marching along 5th today, I think. Cami enjoyed the Highline walk. And Sharon asking us who has the best bagels in New York City. So I usually mention 3 that I think cover a good bit of ground. So your everyday bagel, there's a place called Essa Bagel. There's a few of them around the city, but they're like a really good New York City bagel, the kind that if you work in Manhattan that you would eat. And then a little more old school, Russ and Daughters down on Houston Street, not too far from Katz's. Those are really fun. And that's a fun place if you want to put together kind of like a picnic lunch. You can pick up all sorts of stuff there. It's really good. And then if you want to go fancy, in Soho is a restaurant called Sadel's. Very expensive, or fairly expensive, I should say. But the bagels there are really cool, and they come out, if you order a whole bunch of them, they come out on a stick, like they would have in the old days. Stylish likes Bagel Works. Lino is a fan of Murray's. Ooh, Murray's is good. And you know, there's a lot of like neighborhood ones that are very good. And a lot of, you know, there's some chains that are okay. We do, there's a chain called Tal, T-A-L, that's pretty good. Just because it's, you know, it's convenient, but it's actually pretty good. And then we've been ordering from this place called Bagel Bob's, which I also know is, there's a couple around the city. That's pretty good. It's the thing where there's like, you know how there's like 5,000 pizzerias in New York City? There's probably just as many bagel shops. And I'm sure I've only tried a tiny, tiny fraction of them. Andrew's vote is Slim's in Little Neck. Yeah, see, I haven't done like Long Island, and I've heard really good things about a bunch of shops on Long Island. Ollie's asking about bagel toppings. Well, I mean, I'm pretty, you know, just regular cream cheese, but my vote is either a plain bagel, a sesame bagel, or an everything bagel. Lisa's is plain bagel with butter. And I would probably get an everything bagel with cream cheese. So if we were to go left at any point right now, we could head over to Grand Central. But I want to see more of 5th Avenue today, so we're going to keep going south. Stylish has a Bagel Bob's nearby. Yeah, it's worth a try. They're very good. Very good. Cammy's vote is the smoked salmon and cream cheese. Yep, classic. Andrew's vote also Novalox. Well, that's where the name comes from, Sharon. It's a play on bagels and lox. A little New York, a little Jewish, a little walking. It's a little bit about us. Coming up on 42nd Street now. We're gonna miss the lights, so when I'm not sure it's the best view of it, but we'll try to see the Chrysler building while we're here on 42nd. It's usually a little easier though across the street, but let me scooch back and see if we have a view from over here. Let's see. I have to be a little careful because the cars. Nah, we don't have a view of the Chrysler, so we're gonna wait for it to cross the street. Yeah, I think we've all made ourselves hungry. We have a stack of Bagel Bob's bagels at home. No shortage. We always try to keep some in the apartment. All right, let me see if I can cut across without running into anybody. So I can show you guys this. So that's the Chrysler building. And then if I can do this smoothly, One Vanderbilt. Oh, and I have an eye for my wife in the chat. So we're in the kiddo stage of feeding him solid food. And she says, we have a green bean fan. You did green beans without me. Oh, I love it. We love it. A little green bean fan at home. Well, Prince Ice, you've joined at a better time. It was, I have to say, Fifth Avenue, the Met, really until Rockefeller Center has not been very busy. But we're now in, near a lot of the transportation where folks commute to or from, like Grand Central. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of the folks leaving the office, heading over to Grand Central to head home. This is the main branch of the New York Public Library, the Stephen Schwarzman building. Really gorgeous, especially at night. You got Salesforce Tower, other buildings in the background. Yeah, so let's see, what have we done? We've done carrots, oatmeal, which to the best of my knowledge looks and smells like ground up, like if you took dry Cheerios and put them in a blender, that's what it kind of looks and smells like. Patience and fortitude. Overlooking, protecting the library. And what was the other one? Sweet potato, I guess? Scott asking, wasn't there an H&H Bagels? We have tried H&H Bagels several times, and we have been disappointed every time. So they are still in existence, but I think they're past their prime, if you ask me. And we gave it a few shots because we heard such good things, but it was disappointing every time. Ollie says my dad called them Greensky Beanskis. See, that's the kind of thing I need to start adding to my repertoire. I'm just glad he likes them. strike is over at H&H. Liz is heading here 6 days. What are you going to do while you're here? Stylish says they still have 4-star. Yeah, like when we went, there were big lines. It seemed as if, you know, people like it was a regular place for a lot of people, but we just didn't like it. We just didn't like it. They just weren't that good. Silvio's here checking in from Brazil. Hey, good to see you. Uh-oh, work and then vacation. Bummer about the work, excited for the vacation. May the work go quickly. Next stop, 34th Street. Actually, why don't we'll cross here, because at 34th Street and 5th Avenue you have the beautiful Empire State Building, but you get much better views of it when you're a few blocks away as opposed to directly underneath it. So, almost. Scott Veselka, yeah. I haven't been there in a number of years, but I have very fond memories of it myself. All right, here we go. Classic white lights on the Empire State Building tonight. Lino checked in as well. Signature white tonight. So for those who don't know, you can go on the Empire State Building's website, and it always has a short little description of the lights, because if they're color, it'll say, you know, what it's in honor of. I'm a little surprised, I guess, that there's not something for the International Women's Day. I'm a little surprised now that we know that today is a rather important day, but they didn't do something for that. Huh. Funny, but very beautiful. Suke says Bagels Diners missing NYC. Yeah, well, you guys are definitely making me awfully hungry for dinner. I don't even know what's on the menu tonight. Today we had a classic Northeast breakfast, Dunkin' Donuts. All right, let me see if I can get us one more good view of the Empire now that we're a little ways from it. Oh yeah, that's a good view. All right, that might be the screenshot right there. I think that might be the screenshot. Gorgeous. And let's see if we can cross without getting hit by any cars. Another successful day crossing the street. In the wise words of Tom from Walks in Wall Street, I think that was a 10 out of 10, if you ask me. I think that was a 10 out of 10. Well, it sounds like some of us are celebrating International Women's Day. I don't know what I guess I'm a little surprised that the Empire's not doing something for that. A little surprised. All this talk of bagels and donuts, you guys are making me so hungry. So hungry. I've been on a multi-month quest to convince my wife to have Indian food. We used to, it's harder for us to go out, and some of our favorite Indian restaurants are not in our neighborhood. There's a whole area, Lexington in like the mid to high 20s, called Curry Hill, which is a play on the name Murray Hill, the broader neighborhood that's part of. Yeah, Ambrose, I guess that's right, but it feels like the sort of thing they can make anything up and just say that's what it's in honor of, but what do I know? Well, we wait for the streetlights. Let's check out this building over here, which does this little mini light show. Christian went to one at a food cart in Union Square. Well, there's a really famous one at Washington Square Park, the Dosa Man, but he often sells out pretty quickly. This is 34th Street. If we were to go west, it would take us over to Macy's. And this is the Empire. We are now directly underneath the Empire State Building. Oh, stretching my back to show you guys. Stylish says Bombay Chowk on the Upper East Side. Ah, that's a good idea. Suffragette White. That's a good idea. The wisdom of the crowd has spoken. They added, not a big Starbucks fan, especially these days with the whole how they're treating their employees, but they added the Starbucks Reserve over there. I know that's pretty popular. So next stop, that was 34th Street, so next stop 28th Street, I believe, for Madison Square Park. We often get asked, why is the garden not in the park? And it's because the garden used to be in the park. There were, I read about this once, I forget how many, but there were various iterations of the garden. So Madison Square Garden, there was one and then another, you know, it kept getting rebuilt. And eventually, obviously relocated, what is it, 9th Avenue? So about 4 avenues over. Now we're in the pizza talk. We had pizza last night, so I don't think we're doing pizza tonight. Oh yeah, so getting questions about the street numbers. Yeah, we're going south right now. Oh, it's probably too dark to see, but one of my favorite sites is over to our left. Excuse me, over to my right, west, which is Gimbal's Bridge. I love these. It's probably a little hard to tell, but that's 2 stories tall. Beautiful. I was over near Madison Square Garden the other day because I was going to B&H Photo, which is the one of the best photography video stores in the world. It's right over there near the garden. Highly recommend a trip there. Some cool buildings over here.
Knocked away.
Ooh, Carvel ice cream. We are familiar. Delicious. Some really cool buildings down here. Oh, look at the lobby in here filled with plants. My wife would love this. Yeah, Essebagel is still great. Essebagel is still, that's probably my number one recommendation to people, because it's, of the ones I've mentioned, Essebagel, Russ and Daughters, Sadel's, it's probably the most New York, and it's the cheapest. Although it and Russ and Daughters are probably about the same price, to be honest. But I don't think you'll ever be disappointed at Essebagel. And there's a few of them around the city. I know there's one on 3rd Avenue in the 50s. There's one near Stuytown. And I think there's one other, but I'm blanking on where the other one is. Some sort of event happening here at the Valley Bank.
And then
today's one of those days where every light. While we wait for the light, let's go check out this building over here. Little detour. Tiny little detour. Isn't this beautiful? Church of the Transfiguration. I think we missed our chance to cross the street. We will wait again. Patricia asking, what's the highest number of viewers we had at one time? I think it was during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but I'm blanking on what the number was. Before that, it was probably the St. Patty's Day Parade. People love a good parade. And when they watch with us, there's no commercials. And as the temperature warms up here, we're going to get back into parade season, so stay tuned for that. It'll be here before you know it. And I feel like, so March, I guess St. Patty's will be the, anybody know when the parade is here in New York City? I should know the answer myself, but I'm completely brain dead right now. British Grey is here. Good to see you.
You almost feel like every time you talk about it, like you're...
Crossing 28th Street. Let me just turn around really quick for a second. In honor of British Grey joining us, one last view of the Empire State Building. '17th. Good to know. Good to know. That's Avocadoria, a restaurant entirely dedicated to our friend the avocado. That's kind of funny. And if you're looking for something to do in New York City, the Museum of Sex. I'm sure it is fun for the whole family. Claire is here. 17th. I figured it was coming up. That'll be here before we know it. I'll try to be there. It always depends on what's going on with the family. But if I can be there, I will be there. Sue K wants to check out the avocado restaurant. I mean, if you're gonna have a gimmick, that's pretty good. All right, folks, 26th Street. We've made it to Madison Square Park. Cars are coming, so we just have to wait our turn. There's a couple, I mean, Madison Square Park, super interesting regardless, but a couple updates on the park. One, there's supposed to be a really interesting piece of public art that I'm hoping is still here. Two, they recently redid the dog run, and it's beautiful, although I don't know how many dogs will be there at this hour, but we'll find out. And it's where Shake Shack originated, among other fun facts. And you have the old insurance company buildings over here. Beautiful clock tower. Last time I was here, I think this was under scaffolding, so it looks gorgeous again. Beautiful. And then of course, we'll get to it in a moment, but the Flatiron building, unfortunately it's been covered in scaffolding for the longest time now. It's really ugly and unfortunate. But here's the piece of public art I was hoping to see, and I'm glad it's all lit up. Ooh, I'm excited for this. I've been meaning to do this for months, it feels like. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. We have a serious Long Island contingent in the chat, it seems. This is pretty cool. Oh wow, stylish, is that right? I didn't have any idea. Let's see if we can read about this. All right, what do we got here? Shazia Sikander, Hava to Breathe Air Life 2023. On view through June 4. Towering skirted female figure titled Witness 2023 is part of a newly commissioned multimedia public art project. Hava means air, atmosphere. Eve in Arabic and Hebrew and other languages. There's a related augmented reality experience. Sikandar is renowned for creating work that transforms and updates the tradition of Indo-Persian miniature painting. That's cool. So in the park is Witness. On the roof, oh, I heard about this. On the rooftop of the courthouse of the Appellate Division is another statue, and that's right across the way. So let's see if we can see it at night. It might be too dark, but I heard about that. I've been wanting to see that. And it feels very appropriate for International Women's Day. So let's go check out that, and then on our way back we'll check out the dogs, who are, I heard, barking away. So they're indeed here. But yeah, I heard on the top of the courthouse was a part of the art. And I hope I'm correct that it's this building over here. I hope I'm remembering all this correctly. I only very briefly read about it. But let's go see if we can find it. This building, by the way, little known, has a memorial to the Holocaust on it, but I'd rather do that on a Madison Avenue walk day during the day, because this building in real sunlight is very, very beautiful, which is why I'm a little skeptical of being able to see this sculpture. So, but let's find out. Okay, let's figure this out. I think it would be the one at the end, right? We have the light. So let me stop here for a second as we figure this out. So you can see on the courthouse there's all these figures along the top. And my understanding is she created a modern, how do I do this? A modern one, which I think is the one at the end. Wow, we found it. This is awesome. This is so cool. I'm excited. Okay, so let's do a big reveal, I guess. So let me zoom in. So these are the older ones, the original ones, as I understand it. And then bam! In gold.
And they were like, well, maybe you can reconfigure the hub.
Yeah, Ambrose. A little tricky. A little tricky. We had to zoom in quite a bit. It probably looks a little better in the daytime. But how good is that? That's awesome. So this is like an appellate courthouse. Cammy. That's so cool. That's been on my list. I for some reason I just assumed it was at one of the courthouses downtown. Oh, I'm so glad I read the artist statement. That was awesome. My wife will surely recognize this area. There's a hillstone on the Park Avenue side of these buildings. And in the early days of the pandemic, they were they were one of the first that had like a really good outdoor dining setup when that was the only thing you could do. And we went every Friday. It was what we looked forward to all week long. All right, should we go see what's going on? Looks like it's closed that way, so let's go this way. Let's go see what's going on at the dog park. And I spent a bunch of time wiping our lenses, so hopefully we don't have too much glare. There's one thing about the iPhone. This camera is very amazing, and it's good in the low light for the most part, but it gets a lot of glare if there's any smudges on it. Yes, Lisa says, even in the snow, we did that every Friday. Yeah, there was one time we went and it must have been, sub 30 degrees Fahrenheit, pouring snow. We were sitting there all bundled up, covered in snow, and yet, as I said, it was something we looked forward to all week long, so we couldn't have been happier. Ah, the things we did in those days. Happy dogs. Happy, happy dogs. So this is brand new. They redid this not too long ago. And as you can tell, the dogs absolutely seem to love this. And the building in the middle background is the Flatiron building. I know it's hard to tell because the lighting is not so great. And the scaffolding, the unfortunate scaffolding, but a dog just walked in and its tail could not have been wagging anymore. All right, I lied. One last view of the Empire State Building, and then let's head farther south still along Fifth Avenue. Ollie, that was what the cocktails were for. So here's the trick. If you stay along the park here, that becomes Broadway. Broadway kind of cuts across Fifth Avenue over here. So we're gonna cross the street. I mean, we can go down there, but I want to cross the street here so we can walk next to, that's Italy. And there's actually another Lego store, but Italy's really fun. Lino says originally the Fuller building. And there's some insane drivers over here today. Chill out, folks. It's just Wednesday night. Not everybody knows this, but when it gets, when there's like really crazy drivers, you have to remember that in the city, the speed limit is like 25 miles an hour, so there's like absolutely no reason whatsoever for people to go absolutely bananas, but it says something about something. So here you can see the distinctive shape of the Flatiron building. We're facing south to our left, Broadway, and straight away, Fifth Avenue. We'll continue along Fifth Avenue. On our right-hand side, like I was saying, Italy. Italian market, and then all sorts of little restaurants inside. It's really good. Among the best cacio e pepe in the city at the restaurants inside there, and really good gelato. I don't do too much grocery shopping there because it's pretty expensive, but if you want to like splurge on 2-year-old Parmesan, you can do that there. Nathan's here, as is Mr. Romachek 75. Good to see you. Adam, if you're comfortable, tell us how work is going. And here's the Lego store. Another one. Oh, look. I was wondering if they'd have anything interesting to look at, but check this out. That's pretty good. That's not too shabby. So I love repurposed old buildings, and one of the best examples of that, you know what, screw it, let's walk over there so I can show you guys. But this area and south of us, so this is 23rd Street between 5th and 6th Avenue, used to be known as Ladies Mile. And so there used to be department stores which focused on female shoppers. And it was a whole thing. There's, I mentioned from time to time the Bowery Boys history podcast where I talk about New York City history, but you know, places where women could go without you know, being chaperoned, that had restaurants, places to go to the restroom, all sorts of things that were not as common at the time. And anyways, this is a hysterical example of this. So there's a beautiful old building, probably used, I forget what department store it used to be. It's now a Home Depot. And it's a Home Depot in the nicest building you can possibly imagine. This is a Home Depot that I'm pointing at. So this white building, gorgeous, is a Home Depot. Ah, good news from Adam. Things are going well. Found his fit way better than the Ray. That's wonderful to hear. RJ says, few blocks from my alma mater. Unlike Santos, I actually graduated from Baruch. I love it. I love it. I love this building. I'll cross the street since there's no cars. I just want to show you like some of the detailing on it because it's kind of crazy. It's just so funny to me that it's now a home repair store. The columns. I guarantee it is the most beautiful Home Depot you've ever seen, and certainly the most historic. Is there a sign? Let's see if there's like an old sign. Yeah. I'll dig up the Bowery Boys episode on Ladies Mile, and I'm sure it talks about it because it's just so hysterical. There's another one on 6th Avenue. I'm not going to head over there, but there's another one that's really beautiful, and it's now a Bed Bath & Beyond, or at least it was. I guess they're all going bankrupt. But I love that. But let's head back to 5th Avenue, and we'll continue walking along 5th. See the rest of the 5th Avenue sites. Sharon asks, is it just the bottom floor that's the Home Depot, or is the whole building? I think I'm pretty sure it's the whole building. I know for sure it's the first floor and the basement. I can't remember what happens above. Maybe, I forget if the above is office, storage, I just don't remember. ABX says that Bed Bath & Beyond is staying. Okay, that's good to know. The Hotel Chelsea, yeah, Lino. More great history. And anybody who watched my Highline video, one of our viewers, Brenda, commented about history, so I put the link to the Bowery Boys audio walking tour of the Highline. And I haven't listened to that in a while, but it reminded me of some of the history, and the pictures has some great pictures. So check that out if you're interested in the history. This is the Harry Potter store on our left. You will probably not be surprised to learn that during the day there are often lines around the block with kids and their families trying to get in. I don't know if they still do it, but a long time ago you had timed entry to the store, which I find hysterical. People love their Harry Potter. When we get out from the scaffolding, I'll show you some more of the buildings, because this area, 5th Avenue and 6th Avenue in particular, the buildings are unbelievably gorgeous. A lot of grand old buildings. Adam's saying that they've actually done some good renovations around the Chelsea. I'll have to check it out. I haven't been there in a while. I'll have to check it out one of these days. And here's a historic poster so you can see what the Flatiron would normally look like. It's so rotten with all the scaffolding. One of the, I forget who I saw, somebody on Twitter, was it the city council? I forget who it was, but someone in New York City government was talking about scaffolding and things that the city could do to alleviate the problem. But basically, if a building is in need of repair, you're required to put up the scaffolding. And what happens is some landlords, some building owners, find that it is cheaper to permanently erect the scaffolding than actually fix the problems. And so you have these examples where like the scaffolding will be up for decades. It's really bad. Oh, here's on my left, one of my favorite buildings. And Karen Payne, a $5 super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 5 times over, Karen. Appreciate you. Thanks for being with us, hanging on out as we explore 5th Avenue. Shiva's here. Lots and lots of our friends in attendance. And doesn't the buildings over here are much taller than they are in Soho, but doesn't like the fire escape and stuff, doesn't it remind you of Soho? If we were to go to our left, so east, that would take us to Union Square. But today, exploring 5th Avenue. And while I have, so on Monday I did a few recorded walks. So I posted the High Line, and then later in the week I'll post, I still got to edit some stuff, but World Trade Center and some Lower Manhattan. And then I did the Brooklyn Bridge, and my timing was like, it was unintentional, but it ended up being perfect. It was at sunset, so if you guys want to see crossing the Brooklyn Bridge at sunset, just lucked out, perfect timing. So I'll post those recordings over the next few days. Oh gosh, Scott has to drive 15 minutes to go grocery shopping. See, Scott, this is, are you guys all aware of the controversy around 15-minute cities? We are definitely living in a time where people have lost their collective minds, but whatever. Happy shopping. Adam loves working in Soho. Breath of fresh air compared to Midtown East. Yeah, and especially now, because Midtown, I mean, it's kind of coming back, but you know, so many people are working from home. It just doesn't feel like it used to feel as much. Crossing 16th Street, coming up to our next big cross street, 14th Street. This is, I have very happy memories. This is, Lisa used to join me on a lot of these live streams, and she was with me for the Pride Parade, and we were standing on one of these streets. I forget if it was this one or the one of these blocks is where, I think right there, I think we were standing right over there. That was so much fun. I remember yelling at Chuck Schumer about something, and I think I got written up about it in the New York Times. 14th Street, and the fanciest CVS you've ever seen. The CVS isn't really fancy, it's just the building it's in. Who were we talking to? Oh, I guess it was Scott. We were talking about good old movie theaters, and I mentioned the Quad Cinema on 13th Street. It's actually right over there. It's on 13th between 5th and 6th. Probably my favorite movie theater in New York City. If you're into smaller movies and older movies, they do a lot of, the guy who runs it loves old movies, and so it's one of the few places where you can see old movies, you know, that you would normally only see like on streaming or something on a movie screen. Love that theater. Anybody remember Movie Pass? I used that so much there. I was one of the people who made that business lose money. For sure. Sandra's here from Massachusetts. Good to see you. As we get into this neighborhood, this is the new school, not to be confused with NYU, New York University, the new school. Last time we did this walk, it's been a long, I love doing very, very, very long walks, and this is one of my frequent ones, is, you know, do as much of Fifth Avenue as I can. Last time we did a really long one, there was the big protest going on at the new school, but I think they reached an agreement. This looks like some of the, let's see, Parsons Printmaking, Books and Arts. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Another gallery. Hey, Daryl's here. Yes, I was able to join one of Gabe's streams recently. Our good friend, the Walking Commuter. I joined as a viewer, not as a participant. Always good to see Gabe. And I'm glad to see he was feeling much better. I guess there's something going around on the Northeast, so everybody stay safe out there. So as we make our way even farther down Fifth Avenue, we're going from the new school to NYU, New York University. This is First Presbyterian. And across the street, look at those beautiful gas lamps. Is that the Salmagundi Club, or am I misremembering? It's a little hard for me to read the words over there, so I apologize. But if anybody can recall, was that the Salmagundi Club? Yeah, stylish, I should have, but trying to get to Washington Square Park while we still have some juice. Complete our tour of Fifth Avenue, and then maybe we'll go walk a little of the Village. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Gabe has a new mod. Great local who drives for Lyft, Uber, Noah Foreman. His channel here on YouTube. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, we were big fans of Gabe, hoping to share a walk one of these days. We've met in person once, but haven't done a walk together yet, but hopefully one day. One day. Forbes, the magazine Forbes on our right. And one day I'm really hoping to try this restaurant. It always looks and smells delicious. Claudette. I think if anybody's familiar with like Rosemary's and stuff, I think it's the same restaurant group as like Rosemary's.
बीफ ज्यादा भी नहीं चिकन ज्यादा है
Well, Adam, I can only do as much as my battery will allow. But well said, fair point, fair point. It's hysterical. The Upper East Side was dead today. Central Park, not too busy. This is as busy as Midtown was, all the NYU students. Love it. I love the energy down here. Washington Square Park is one of my favorite parks in New York City. And this whole area, I love this whole area. Adam says good things about Claudette. Yeah, I really hope to make it there one day. Looks pretty good. So as we make our way up, to our left, I'm not going to go there today just because it's too dark, but it's fun during the daytime, is one of the most amazing little streets, Washington Mews. And these are NYU buildings like, I forget some of them, but like the German thing and the French thing and so forth. Amazing little street. And if you check some of our old Fifth Avenue videos, we've walked it many times, and it's just much nicer to walk it during the daytime. But we're going to enter here, Washington Square Park. This is the Arch, and you're going to get a really beautiful view behind it in just a moment, which is One World Trade Center. And as I said, I do have a World Trade Center walk coming up sometime later this week. And Adam asking, have I seen S. Fields? Yeah, I saw her on... Where did I see her? I mean, she was on one of mine recently. She was on one of mine, but I guess I'm blanking on... I have baby brain these days, so it's a little hard for me to remember specific dates. So fun fact, it is possible to go inside and up into the Arch. They do let, whoa, something's going on in the park, releasing balloons. Must take advantage of these sites when we see them. I have to get away from the Arch because the exposure. There's the balloons that they just released. I'll find out in a second what the story is. But as I was saying, people can go up it, like they do it as part of like fundraisers and stuff from time to time. So we'll find out what's going on. This is often a meeting place for protest and memorials and different things. So we'll find out what's going on in a minute. Lisa corrects me. She was on the Sunday one. Yeah. Yes. It's all coming together.
If you're like want to come, you can just follow my big toe and I'll let's go. If you come to the kitchen, we're going to make some more. They're going to clean up the spot. We're going to get things together. See how to get together.
On this one. Take me out.
Okay, y'all getting like the real shot tonight. We're going to the kitchen. We're going to fellowship. We're going to eat more. We're going to dance. We're going to walk some runway. We're going to celebrate the life of Paris and we're going to do it in the way we do it. It's fabulous. So please, if you are coming over, I'm going to start walking everyone over. Can I have some help with individuals? I They want me to leave. Yes, and for those who are interested in this activism work, this beautiful young lady just let me know of a march that's happening tomorrow for trans rights in Union Square for the rights of our young people.
Trans rights.
Tomorrow.
Well, that is something I can get behind. So this is the fountain here in Washington Square Park. It's often, as you can see right now, used for sort of as a skate park. It's pretty fun. And usually there's music, live music, and we were talking a while ago, there's the Dosa Man, there's, you know, different food vendors and stuff. Lots going on in the in Washington Square Park. What does baby brain mean? It just means we're not sleeping enough. And it's my way of apologizing if I misspeak or can't remember that I just saw S. Fields on a stream 3 days ago. So this is Washington Square Park. It's kind of in the heart of what you would call the New York University campus. There's not really a campus per se, but this is kind of a student center. That's Bopst, which is the library in this beautiful kind of rust-colored building. It's kind of interesting. And then there's all sorts of class buildings over here. And one of them, and again, we'll come back during the day because it's not as easy to see what's going on at night. But if you're really familiar with New York City history or labor history, and you've ever heard of the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, the building where that took place is right over there. And every year on the anniversary, they do a really beautiful memorial. But let's check out a little bit of the village. And while I do that, from ER Trauma, a $10 super chat. I really should get back to work. As always, love the trip down memory lane and seeing the changes too. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much, 10 times over. We love having your company, remembrances, and getting to share this beautiful city with you. So ER, thank you for that. We appreciate you. This is Washington Square South. We're walking, we finished Fifth Avenue. We finished Fifth Avenue. We have walked through Washington Square Park. We'll come back. We'll do more of it in the daytime. It's not as easy to see everything at night. And it sounded like there was not as much going on. So we'll come back. This is Fifth Avenue. Now that we're south of Washington Square Park is now Thompson Street. So I'm just going to kind of crisscross a little bit and just go kind of wherever I want. And we'll check a little bit of Greenwich Village out. Let's see what's going on in Greenwich Village. And speaking of beautiful architecture, cool buildings, different restaurants, this is one of my favorite parts of the city. If you ever see a white bicycle, by the way, they're often, I don't think that one is. That one looked like an advertisement, but sometimes they're memorials to people who ghost bicycles passed away on a bicycle. So I'm curious if Adam has ever been here. Il Mulino. It's among the most expensive things you can possibly do in New York City, but I think it's the best Italian-American restaurant in New York City. Way better than Carbone. Carbone wishes it was Il Mulino. But I'm curious if Adam has ever had it and what he thinks. Miguel is here, Frant is here. Apologies if I missed your chat. We're just, as I walk around, trying not to run into anybody. So it's not always easy for me to read every chat. Whoa, and you can see from here, I didn't think we'd see it again, but there's the Empire State Building in the distance. Yeah, Lisa says we saw Tony Bennett there. Yeah, it's for sure a special occasion kind of spot, but that's, if you want to see and be seen from the old school crowd, that's where you do it. Although we've seen some, you know, sports celebrities and other things, you know, there's folks in the know that spot. Coming up on MacDougal Street, which is one of the most historic and fun streets in New York City. And to our right, one of Lisa and my favorite date spots, La Lanterna, which is the green awning right there, La Lanterna. And they have these beautiful little huts that they use as for their outdoor dining. One of our favorite date spots in the city. If you go inside, and you have to call them up, find the right date. There's Jazz Club, and their menu of all things is pizza and lasagna. So good. Cafe Reggio, Mamoon's Falafel, some of the best falafel in New York City. Comedy Club, Comedy Cellar, super famous. There's Minetta Tavern, super famous, super famous. Cafe Wa. Artichoke pizza. I'm not a huge fan of artichoke pizza. It's super famous. A lot of people love it, but I gotta tell you, I find that it's very expensive and I'm not a super big fan of it myself. On the left-hand side here, Insomnia cookies. Those are really good. Really good Insomnia cookies. My favorite cookies are Jacques Torres, but Insomnia is way up there. Anytime you can get a decently affordable hot cookie, count me in. Oh, and speaking of, let me cross the street. It's getting a little crazy over there. Speaking of old school Italian, right down here, Monty's restaurant. It's something like 120. I forget how old it is. It's really old. That place is fantastic, Monty's. And right here, one of my favorites, Cotty Roll Company, Indian sandwiches. We were talking about Indian food earlier. Cotty rolls, some of my favorite. Oh, there it is. Since 1918. Since 1918. Monty's. That place is terrific. And then we have, if any of our Staten Island friends are here, Danino's. Pretty sure Danino's comes from Staten Island, if I remember correctly. Lisa and I have eaten there. Really good pizza. Really good pizza. As you can tell, MacDougal Street, if you're not super familiar with MacDougal Street, you could spend days here eating, just eating. So good. So good. I think Carbone is on Thompson. They have a famous sign, but as I said, the one that they wish they were is Il Molino. Those in the know. Kyle's, yep, Jimi Hendrix spot, Cafe Wa, and then the Blue Note on West 3rd Street, just off of MacDougal Street for jazz. You could go to La Lanterna for dinner and jazz, and then go to the Blue Note afterwards for a little more. This is Dante, which is super famous cocktail spot, but also a restaurant. Really beautiful setup here. beautiful. Adam says, Joe, Andrew's husband refuses to eat in what he calls subterranean restaurants, i.e. restaurants where you have to take a few steps down to get into. That's so funny, but I challenge that. Don't they eat at WoHop? Do they only eat at WoHop outside? Or do they go downstairs? Or is WoHop the exception that proves the rule? This is Houston Street. I need to start going east because I got to start heading home. But I'll show you a couple places along Houston that are also pretty good. But yes, in the distance, One World Trade Center. Before we turn, let's go to the corner here and get a really beautiful shot of it. Arcade is here. Bar Veloce. This place is really good. This is a little cocktail spot with Italian appetizers and stuff. Really good cocktails, really good food. Raffetto's. Now this place, guys, established 1906. Fresh pasta. And if you go to, I think Fairways has it. You can come here, obviously, and it's recommended because it's amazing. The history, the people are super nice, the food is incredible. But if you can't make it to Houston Street, I think Fairway sells Raffetto pasta. Really good. As you can probably tell at this point, I'm going to have dinner after this, and I'm so hungry now. This is about to conclude Sean's dinner tour of Greenwich Village. Wonder if my wife knows what we're going to see next. I bet she does. I bet she knows. Oh, that's so funny, Adam. They crack me up. I love, if you're not familiar, he's referring to another YouTube streamer named Yo Ange. And she and her husband, Joe, often accompanies her, are such characters. And they're from Michigan like you, Adam, right? You guys must all be on the same wavelength. All right, as we cross Thompson here, a real institution, Arturo's, one of the oldest and best pizzerias in New York City, still uses a coal oven. Absolutely incredible. And they also have live music inside. Love this place. Love this place, Arturo's. And I believe, speaking of International Women's Day, that it's a woman-owned business here in New York City, woman-owned restaurant. A bunch of the pizzerias, surprisingly, are women-owned. DeFara, Totono's in Coney Island, and I'm sure a bunch of others that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but there's 3. A lot of people from New York's past probably remember this as Spurs. It used to be a diner years ago called Spurs, but this is now Morgenstern's ice cream. Really good, really creative flavors and combinations. You know what? I think I know where we're going to end the stream today. We're going to go see a Picasso. We're going to go see a Picasso. And that's where we'll end today's stream. How does that sound? How does that sound? End the stream with a Picasso. I think that's what I want to do. Oh my gosh, Adam says we lived 2 blocks away from each other in 97 and 98, found each other in New York City 23 years later. That's incredible. I love that. I love that. That's so much fun, Adam. This is walking north again. This is LaGuardia Place. I got to do a little creative walking for a second, but we're going to go see a Picasso to end tonight's stream. Again, more of the beautiful West Village architecture, Greenwich Village, and then let me point the camera to the right. We love a beautiful community garden. Check this one out. Gosh, I'm so hungry now. All this talk of I love, this is if I had a lot of, if I won the lottery, would live around here or West Village. For sure. Now we're on Bleecker Street. I'll show you guys the art over here. I love this. I'm so hungry now. Here's the Utz truck. I might have to break into the Utz truck, guys. I might have to break into the Utz truck. So hungry now. But let's walk this way and we will go see our Picasso. All right, folks, as we wrap ourselves up, big thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to our viewers. We got a bunch of donations tonight, which I can't thank you enough for. We just hit 1 million views, as I'm sure some of you saw, a little community update. Grateful to everybody for helping us achieve that milestone. Incredible. If you're new here, consider giving a thumbs up. They're free. You want to see more? Subscribe. You want to know when we're going live? Hit the notification bell because I never know when we're going live. Did you know there's an outdoor Picasso in New York City? So we are in NYU's University Village. This is housing mostly for faculty and staff at NYU. And right here is a Picasso. Not everybody knows that. But like I was saying, a gigantic thank you for helping us achieve 1 million views. I still can't get over it. It's an insane number. We love hanging on out. I got 2 more walks recorded coming this week. If you missed it, we did the High Line on a beautiful sunny day, though super windy. And then World Trade Center and Brooklyn Bridge at sunset. I'm really excited for you guys to see the Brooklyn Bridge one. So stay tuned for that over the next couple of days. After that, who knows, because I'm all out. Ramona, Brenda, Kyle, Adam, Andrew, Colleen, Neville, Cami, Liz, Gigi NYC, Shiva, Stylish Bunny, Ollie, Sharon, to all of our friends and my beautiful wife Lisa, my kiddo Caleb, watching from the comfort of the couch at home. Thanks everybody for hanging on out with us. We'll be back again sometime real soon. ABX, Brenda, Kyle, Gigi, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see you all again sometime real soon. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.